The natural beauty of Southwood, its lakes and ponds, elegant trees, nature trails, and fascinating wildlife, serve to bring people together as they share their community. Southwood green spaces are the result of a larger vision, a unique master-planned development. These green spaces reflect a key element of Southwood, a network of connections. That is because the essential quality of Southwood is connections. Connections of all kinds: technological, natural, historical, and most important, the human connection.
From a technology standpoint, from a community standpoint, and even more so from an environmental standpoint, we're connected to a larger system, and we're a critical part of that system. It's that connectivity with our larger community, socially, economically, and environmentally, that makes Southwood a real player in that larger system.
Let's consider how the green spaces of Southwood are a defining part of a network that connects this community. In Tallahassee, all new developments are required to have at least some green space. Instead of only meeting the minimum requirements, Southwood was designed with a network of protected conservation areas, recreational facilities, nature trails, and wide spaces of natural habitat. At the same time, other connections were planned. Even as the streets were laid down, along with them came the cables and high-speed connections for a community infranet. And added to the carefully planned grid of underground utilities were open conduits for future technological expansion. Southwood's network of stormwater ponds is designed and maintained to improve water quality, and they also serve as wildlife corridors to the larger lakes. Also installed was a neighborhood irrigation system, which is now being adapted to work with an environmentally friendly water reuse system. All of these features form a basic network to connect Southwood resources and homes.
They looked at traffic loads, they looked at arteries, conduits, they looked at so many things. They looked, of course, at the infrastructure, water drainage. They looked at a lot of things in planning out the neighborhoods. They looked at how to preserve the green spaces and not just maintaining them, but what's the best possible thing that we can do for the environment here? What's going to help the gopher tortoise and what's going to help the kestrel and that sort of thing.
The streets themselves were designed to slow traffic speeds, and along with ample sidewalks and bicycle paths, created a walkable community that brings neighbors together. Even the lots and house plans were designed to bring front porches closer to the sidewalks to encourage the human connection.
That was always the thought. The people would live here, but rather than just living in a community and everybody in their little cocoon, get in their car, drive to work, come home, get back into the cave, the thought had always been that people would interact with each other, where you would know your neighbor, you would see your neighbor, that the houses were closer to the street, so when people used the sidewalks, they could wave and say hello. And that was the whole concept of Southwood.
And in addition to sidewalks and bike paths, much of Southwood is connected by nature trails that wind in and around neighborhoods, bringing residents together from all parts of the community.
The houses on my side have a green space behind it with a walking trail. So I have people walking behind my house, right? A lot of people think, well, that's crazy. No, it's not. It's great. It's wonderful. So we have all these walking trails that cut through these nature preserves that go around the lakes, but also go around all these beautiful houses. And a lot of times I know them, I'll wave and they'll wave back. And it's something that, once again, is really unique to Southwood, which is definitely unique to just about any other place I've been.
And these nature trails connect with the Tallahassee-St. Mark's Rail Trail that extends to the coast. It is possible to walk or bike from Southwood all the way to the Gulf without ever having to leave a paved nature trail. And the community also honors its connection to the past. Southwood contains dozens of archaeologically important sites, some containing artifacts of native peoples going back over 1,000 years. This general area of North Florida was home to many distinct cultures of Native Americans, one of the most recent and well-known being the Appalachian people, who flourished here up until the early 1700s. In the 1600s, Spanish soldiers and friars established dozens of missions near Appalachian settlements to spread the Christian religion and produce food. For the last 100 years, the SouthWood area has been under constant use for crops, tree farming, turpentine production, hunting, fishing, and raising cattle. Two of the archaeological sites SouthWood residents might be familiar with are the mission site of San Martin de Tamole and the Connie Copeland African American Cemetery. The mission of San Martin de Tamole was home to as many as 700 people, including 130 families. Missions like these became the focal point of local Appalachian populations. The Connie Copeland African American Cemetery contains the remains of over 100 local residents, some born before the Civil War. Most graves are now unmarked because the wooden grave markers decayed over time. Many of the interred were sawmill and turpentine workers, as well as local farmers, and they include veterans of both world wars. All of these connections forge a community environment based on an appreciation for respectful living. And that creates a sense of ease and peace that enriches the lives of all who live here.
We have every ethnicity here. We have every socioeconomic category. It's a neighborhood where teachers live next to the students they teach, and policemen live next to the families they protect. Nurses live next to doctors. It's a remarkable area because of that.
It doesn't matter what part of the neighborhood you're in. Everybody is out and about. Everybody greets everybody. I've seen people that will just stop to move somebody's trash can that got on the, fell on the street, and things like that. People are extremely, extremely friendly. It really does feel like a community.
Everybody's friendly and they say hello, and people going by in the golf carts wave at you, and some people go by on roller skates, and everybody wants to make friends and to meet new people and just have a pleasant life.
There's no race, no gender, no socioeconomic class that this place was constructed for. I've seen black, white, minority, majority, old, young, indifferent. I mean, they're all here. And we're all living together and doing a good job of it.
There is also a more practical benefit. This network of connections, this incredible natural beauty, stabilizes real estate values.
Real estate is what I do. I do it every day, day in, day out. I see a lot of developments, a lot of product that's out on the market. SouthWood takes into account the quality of life issues that are important to buyers, important to people who live here. And because of that, the planning, the foresight, I believe our property values are not only stable, but will increase over time. And with the real estate market that is constantly changing, SouthWood has a stability factor that other developments don't have.
And SouthWood residents are even connected by their own local government, the Capital Region Community Development District, commonly known as the CDD. The CDD board members are SouthWood residents, elected by SouthWood residents. They represent the interests of their community as they make the management decisions about green spaces and other properties in SouthWood. Local residents attend the monthly meetings in their community center and find that their thoughts and concerns are heard and considered.
I feel very welcome at the CDD meetings. These people that are on the board, they're all fellow residents, and they're happy to see other residents coming out and voicing any concerns they have or telling them good things that are happening in the neighborhood. It's so easy to attend the CDD meetings because they're right in the neighborhood, right at the community center where everyone knows where it is. They're after work.
Everybody gets heard, everybody gets responded to. So never ever felt uncomfortable speaking in front of the group. The area adjacent to our property was supposed to be a park, and it ended up being a median, and getting that resolved and beautifying the median. They were extremely supportive. They did exactly what we asked. So that has been a really good experience.
SouthWood, the green spaces, the planning, and the people. All of this make up a community of residents connected with each other and their activities. These activities include the yearly Pops in the Park performance, as well as seasonal celebrations, neighborhood dinners, and educational classes hosted in the community center.
People live happier, healthier, more productive lives when they can connect with one another in some capacity. So what we wanted to do was just to create means for that to happen, whether it was through events or through learning experiences or through just smaller functions where people could get to know each other and just build a lot of those relationships. There are lots of ways for people to interact, and different people have different needs, so we wanted to provide a variety of means for people to get to know one another.
A community garden has been added, where neighbors find another kind of connection, the shared experience of growing organic vegetables and beautiful flowers.
I have a garden plot, but the most enticing thing about this whole community garden project was seeing it getting started. Everybody was new at it, and they were all enthused, and everybody working together, and some very intelligent people and dedicated people were able to put it together. And that's what I think is really important. It's a community, and also it's learning how to grow things.
The green spaces of SouthWood are an integral part of a larger network of connections that support a unique community living experience.